Hello, my name's Dr. Diahanne Rhiney, and I'm excited to discuss with you my masterclass about what weathering is, setting boundaries, and the power of saying no. Women's health weathering refers to the concept that chronic exposure to social and economic disadvantage, including racism and discrimination, leads to accelerated physical health and decline and earlier onset of poor health outcomes. So let's discuss that in more detail and why I formed My Caroline. So the weathering hypothesis, which was proposed by Dr. Eileen Geronimus, suggests that the cumulative impact of repeated experiences with social or economic adversities and political marginalisation can cause early health deterioration in Black individuals, particularly women. So the weathering process involves the effects of things like chronic stress on the body, leading to accelerated aging and increased susceptibility to various health conditions. And some of those examples of some of these health outcomes can be manifested in a variety of health disparities, including higher rates of chronic diseases, shorter telomeres, which is biological markers of aging, and poorer maternal health outcomes. Now, it's important to note that the weathering process is not solely about race. It's an intersection, but also interacts with forms of oppression such as gender and socioeconomic status. And research and evidence and studies have shown biologically evidence of weathering, with Black women having shorter telomeres compared to white women of the same chronicle age, indicating accelerated aging. And that obviously has, as you can imagine, right, implications. So understanding the weathering hypothesis is crucial for addressing health disparities and developing effective interventions to improve the health and well-being of us Black women. And that is the reason why I set up My Caroline, because losing my dear mum, Caroline, was a pivotal moment that reshaped my purpose and passion. And in my grief, the vision for My Caroline was born, which is a grassroots sisterhood, now a global digital space for Black women 50 plus, like myself. And in this space, it's a space where our experiences of things like menopause, caregiving, career shifts, pivoting, empty nesting, and are not just acknowledged, but are honoured, and we address some of those issues around that. So today, I am proud to be the leader of My Caroline, to provide the support and the community we so deserve. So what is my masterclass really? What is it about? It's about reclaiming your time, your boundaries, and your peace. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So what is the impact, and how can we put things in place that prevent things like weathering. And it's all about setting time boundaries. Your time is your most valuable asset. And how you spend your time shapes the quality of your life. Yeah, of course. Setting time boundaries can help you stay focused on priorities, fostering, as I've said, healthy relationships, and prevents burnout, and can result from taking on more obligations that you can handle. Yeah, that you can handle. And you need to get that. It's about what you can handle. Asserting time boundaries with others can mean scheduling meetings for an appropriate amount of time, declining invitations. Yes, declining invitations to engagements you don't have the energy for. And reserving time for things that are important for you, like rest, about setting boundaries for you so that you get self-care and the rest that you deserve. Setting time boundaries not only benefit you mentally, your mental health, which is really, really important, but also your physical health, and facilitate stronger and more meaningful relationships. When you set healthy limits, you're able to show us, show me, show others the best self in your relationship, your best self in your relationships. How can you set better time boundaries this week, for example? Remember, it's possible to establish time limits that are respectful to both yourself and others. And it's okay to say, I'm prioritizing my well-being so I can take on extra tasks or be a better partner, a better sister, a better parent, a better work colleague. And yes, it's easier to say, but it's about setting your intentions. And it's not about being selfless or selfish, I should say. It's about being selfless in the sense of giving you that time to rest and be a better person. So we always talk about boundary setting and about the art of saying no. But it's about putting a plan together, and it's about taking it step by step. It's about saying, instead of overcommitting your time and your energy, take control of your life by setting healthier boundaries. It's about saying no. It's about saying, I really would like to spend time with you today, but I have to say no because I have to set a priority on myself and I need some time to just rest. It's about making those statements and doing it without feeling guilty. It's about surrounding yourself with a sisterhood, with the women who respect your boundaries and avoid draining relationships. Your peace is non-negotiable. Seek spaces like My Caroline so that you can have that collective support and selective peace. Reflect on what holds you back from saying no to others. And it's the fear of being, I've always said, it's about the fear of being disliked or disappointing people you care about. It isn't a desire to feel wanted and needed, even at the expense of your own mental health. Explore roots of your desire to please people. So that, you're going to have to do some work here on, why do I really have the need to always please people? And what are these things grounded in before immediately saying yes? Give yourself time to figure out what you truly need. Remember that when you fulfill your needs and say no, the time you say yes will be even more meaningful. How well have you been protecting your energy lately? Let's ask this question. The next time you feel overwhelmed, or practice saying no to something such as a social engagement. See how it feels when you reserve the time for yourself. And these can happen, saying no can happen in so many different situations. Like if you're the primary caregiver for an aging parent, but you're overwhelmed, it's okay to say, I need help. I cannot do this alone. Let's discuss a care plan. So those are the small things that you can start to put in place. Let's discuss a care plan. It could be with a family member or a friend who has great expectations and always wants you to be available. I need time for myself, but let's plan a time that works for both of us. So it's about claiming back that power. Let's set a time that works for both of us. Your peace. You deserve it. You have a life that you need to design. Set boundaries, because it's all about your well-being. It's all about your well-being. But this doesn't happen overnight. It's about making small steps. It's about making practical small steps. Like on my email, I say I only check my emails twice a day. So I'm setting the expectations. I'm setting the expectations so that people don't bombard me and I feel overwhelmed and I overcommit because I feel that I have an obligation to keep checking my emails. I only set my emails and check my emails twice a day. So I have done a practical step to take away that feeling of overwhelming. And I've let people know this is who I am. I only check my emails twice a day. So I've already set the expectations. It's also about thinking, what can I do to claim back my power? And it's a sense of control also. And we need to let go of some of that control and say, okay, I can only do A, B, and C, and I can only do it within these time frames, which is okay. It's about saying to someone, I would like to do A, but if I do A, I can only do it on these days and at this time, because I do not want to over commit myself. It's taking those practical steps of what you can do to say no. So what I think would be really good is that we write a contract. So I want you to get a paper and pen, because I want you to stick this up in your house or in your car or wherever is good for you. So I want you to put today's date. I want to put your name. And what I want you to put is, I am committing to take intentional steps towards improving my well-being. And then, so again, I am committing to take intentional steps towards improving my well-being. And then I want you to put my intention is, and then you write whatever your intention is, learning to say no, learning to put in better boundary settings, whatever it is for you. So I want you to do that. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. And then, which I think is really important, I want you to put why this matters to me. So again, I want you to write in there, obviously all this is very personal to you. So I need you to write in there, why does this matter to me? You might put, because my health is suffering and I want to lower my blood pressure. I want to have better forms of relationships. I want to love myself more, whatever. Why this matters to you. Because it needs to matter to you more than anybody else. Why this matters. Then I want you to put, I will take the following steps to support this intention by, and I want you to write 1 to 3 things. Well, ideally 3 things, set 3 things of, and you know, what you will do to take the following steps to support this intention. And I would say put a 3 as a minimum, for you to do. Yeah, see, like me, I want to do some, so in the morning, what I do, one of my intentions is I get up at 5:30 a.m. every morning when the house is really quiet and I meditate. That is an intention that I set a number of years ago. And that is so that for me, I start my day right. So that's one of the intentions and one of the things I do for me. I also like to dance in my kitchen to, I love soca, or some reggae music. But again, whatever it is for you, set your intention. Set your intention. And then I want you actually to put, by signing this contract, I promise to hold myself accountable. Be kind. I want you to be kind to myself in the process and seek support when needed. So by signing this contract, I promise to hold myself accountable, to be kind to myself in the process, and seek support when needed. And then I want you to sign it and put a date for review or a check-in. Now, if this is what I think you should do, I think you should take it to someone to sign as a witness, because that is the accountability piece, right? That holds you to account. So whether it be your partner or a work colleague or a friend, get them to sign it and get them to read what your contract is with yourself and sign it. And that's the accountability piece. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. That's fine too. You pin it up where you want and hold yourself to account. But sometimes people find that hard. So if you can get someone to witness this contract with yourself, I tend to feel it has more weight. And let's say, when you join, let's say not when you join the My Caroline community, we, as your sisters, will hold you to account. But in the meantime, yes, write your contract with yourself. And I feel you need to have that accountability piece. And it's great when you write this contract. I think it will help you to get to the place that you need to. It's to get to that place where you don't feel guilty, right? It's to get to that place where you can look at that contract and tell yourself, and know to yourself that you did it. You did it. You did it. So as I was saying, you can often feel guilty, but let's not feel guilty. Let's reflect. What physical or emotional signs tell you that you are overwhelmed or stressed? Like I've said previously, you can feel fatigue, headache, short-tempered, sleeplessness. Mine, I get really funny stomach in my, funny feeling in my stomach and quite tight, and often don't eat well. Those are my signs. But I want you to write down what are your signs that you're feeling overwhelmed. Where in your life do you feel the most emotionally or physically drained? Like right now. Is it work? Is it family? Is it caring for others? Is it social obligations? I need you to write those down, because that will then allow you to know the areas that we need to really look at, of where we set boundaries and where we say no. What expectations or roles are you carrying that are no longer serving you health wise or your peace? Write those down, because we need to find out what is serving you and what isn't serving you. And that will allow you then to concentrate on those areas. And it's about awareness is the first step in healing from weathering. These are the first steps that we can set boundaries, we can say no. And learning to say no and setting boundaries, it's about, let's look at what stops you from saying no when you want to. Is it the fear of disappointing others? Is it guilt, cultural, family pressures? Let's look into that. What are those things? Because we need to concentrate on those so we can then analyse and come up with a plan. I also want you to identify one area in your life where you need to set a boundary this week. Just one. So we can look at things like declining a request, carving out rest time, limiting calls, coming off social media at 9 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. Let's do some practical things, but just one. And that will help with setting intentions. Also, what boundary will you set and how will you say it? Let's get into the real meat. How will you say it? Write your version of no. So I want you, as you're listening to this masterclass, go away and actually write down what that no is going to be. And it can feel quite daunting and overwhelming, but I just need you to write down what that no is. And I would say some examples of healthy boundaries is I'm not available right now, but I'll let you know when I have capacity. Something like that, obviously in your own language. I can't take on anything extra this week. I'm focusing on rest. Or I love you, but I need to put myself first in this season. That's one of my classics lately. And as I've always said, I keep talking about overflow. And I'm only giving from my overflow. And in regards to sisterhood and collective well-being, which I talk about quite a lot, it's who are the women in your life who uplift and affirm you? Write down 2 or 3 names. Just who are those people who really uplift or affirm you? And Who or what relationships tend to drain your energy? That's a real key one. Drain your energy. And what boundary could help protect your peace within them? So write them down again, because a lot of times when we write things down, it really becomes clear, and then we can really set very clear intentions. How can you nurture deeper sisterhood with other women in this season of your life? For example, of course, I'm going to say join a group like My Caroline, schedule a monthly check-in, attend a retreat. All these things are really important to do. And as I keep telling you, I'm going to keep drumming on here, it's about intent, because we can talk a great talk, but it's your intent. And true sisterhood respects your boundaries. True friendships respect your boundaries, not just your availability. So you really need to go back to that. And I just want you to say, I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of peace. I'm allowed to say no. I am enough, even when I do less. I am worthy. That key word, I am worthy. But I don't need to believe that. You need to believe that with intent. You need to believe you are worthy. So if you're ready to continue the journey with My Caroline, and if there's things that have really resonated, join the My Caroline community. We do online and offline, in person events. We do retreats. I have experts that give advice. We talk about things from menopause, is the healthy aging, dating and relationships, careers, pivoting, finance, empty nesting, you name it, nutrition and self-care. These key things are vital to us as Black women taking back our power, being healthy, being accountable to a group of other women. And I keep telling, let's continue building together with love, intentions and boundaries. It's really important. It's really important that we have that accountability piece, right? Because like I said, we can talk a good game, but we need to have intent, and we need to have self-care, and we need to believe in the power of no, in the power of setting boundaries. So I've tried to give you some practical tips so that you can navigate this space, right? And it's not easy. It's not easy. These are people who, a lot of the time, like family and friends we've known for ages. And like I said, we often feel guilty when we decide to say that small word no. But like I said, that word no has real power and real weight. But you're not saying no to be selfish. You're saying no because you love you and you need to take care of you. And setting those boundaries are really important. So when you look back at all the things that you've written, you know, what are your triggers? How are you going to say no? How are you going to show up? I want you to look back on those and then start writing the practicalities of what you're going to do to take care of you. So to join My Caroline and join up with the free membership is www.mycaroline.com. And once you go in there, you can read up and join the community, join up with the apps, start talking to other women, but being a part of a community that really cares about you and puts you first and puts the community first. So let's do this together. As I said, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I only pour from my overflow. www.mycaroline.co.uk. I look forward to seeing you there, and I need to get better at this. So my handles, and if you want to find me or check me out or find out more about My Caroline, it's www.mycaroline.co.uk, and my personal website is www.diahanne.com, and most of the social media handles are at Diahanne, DIAHANNE UK, or it is Dr. Diahanne Rhiney on LinkedIn and stuff like that, and at My Caroline Official for the social media handles. But yeah, definitely check us out. Join our Facebook group. Become part of the community, and join with the free membership. And there's also opportunities to upgrade to paid membership, which gives you better access to stuff and discounts and all the great stuff. But yeah, please follow, like, share our work. And we're on YouTube, My Caroline's Officials on YouTube, and you can watch some of the videos, some of the guests that we've had on in previous episodes of our YouTube channel. So, as I said before, I so look forward in welcoming you to the My Caroline community, and for us to really put ourselves first as Black women and be on this movement, this change, this healthier lifestyle, this well-being movement together.